Welcome to the Heart for God podcast. With many years of experience pastoring and helping to start churches, Dr. Jim Townsley has some practical and biblical advice that can be a great help to you and your ministry. On this podcast, Dr. Townsley and other guests with special expertise cover a variety of topics. His goal is to help you lead your church to be a healthy, strong, and balanced ministry, and for your family to be happy, healthy, and living for the Lord.
Thank you for joining me today for the podcast. I'm sorry I missed last week during Thanksgiving. It seemed like I was suffering from a cold that's been going around. But we continue to travel. We've been several places. I was in Massachusetts at Pioneer Valley Baptist Church, in New Britain, Connecticut, Tabernacle Baptist Church, at my son's church in Riverside Baptist Church, Terryville, Connecticut. And before that, one of our graduates, Adams Square Baptist Church in Worcester, Massachusetts. I think if you're not from this area, you'd probably call it Worcester or something like that, but it's called Worcester. And Lakes Pond Baptist Church in Waterford, Connecticut. And before that, we've been in several states, South, Midwest, and enjoying our time, doing a variety of things. And this weekend, I'll be with Pastor Dennis Leatherman in Mountain Lake Baptist Church. I'm very much looking forward to being with him. It's a missions emphasis on this Sunday. And we're enjoying traveling. Some of the traveling's a little difficult. Seemed like Thanksgiving travel, going all the way up Maine, and a couple of churches up there, and Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Monday. But that's part of traveling. That's part of it. But, I'm becoming more and more aware and concerned almost weekly that we have so many churches that need pastors. And I've mentioned this before, but this is, we have an impending crisis. We have churches closing because they cannot find a pastor for their church. A friend of mine in North Carolina said he knows 2 churches that have closed. One in New York State that closed. They could not find a pastor. And I thought what I would do today is outline a few of the churches I'm aware of. Pretty much, we call it upstate New York, but it's pretty much eastern New York, up the Hudson Valley towards Syracuse and upper part, and all the way down toward New York City. There are numerous churches that they need a pastor. Some have been without one for a while. A good friend of mine, Brother Al Stone, was with us recently. He said there's 300 independent Baptist churches in Canada, but right now there are 30 without a pastor. And there's only 4 or 5 students studying for the ministry in Canada. And I don't know how many are studying in the States to go to Canada, but I don't think it's 30. Where are these pastors going to come from? It's a real problem. And many of the Bible colleges do not have many young men studying for the ministry. And if they do, there is an attrition rate where some of them don't make it. But at best, they may be 5 or 10 years down the road before they're ready to be the pastor of a church. And New England Baptist College, and through the ministry of Central Baptist Church, we now have 6, really 7, pastors that are from our ministry pastoring in our state. There's only about 35 churches or so. And so we're doing what we can. And, of course, we have pastors in other states, particularly New England, but even outside of New England. So there's a great need. And somebody listening to this, and I'm always surprised, but there are people who've listened, and we have a pastor coming to Ansonia that we've been trying to help and find a pastor for there, and he heard the podcast, and he planned on going there. They voted him in, and he's coming in the end of January. Another one of our graduates recently took over a church that had been over a year without. another pastor was in transition. He was looking for someone, but had not yet resigned, and one of our graduates has become the pastor of that church. And there are many more areas and needs. And just keep in mind, probably for every church that I'm going to mention that does not have a pastor, there's probably that many more. The pastor is ready to step aside to have some young man come in he could train, or just step down and turn the church over to someone. And furthermore, there are churches closing where buildings are available. Now, if you've never started a church, and we've started 17 churches out of our church, we've helped 100, more than 100, probably 150 others. Finding a building to meet in is really difficult. Even a rental place can be very, very difficult. And to find one of these churches that are closing and be able to take that over, starting with that puts you 20 years ahead of where you would normally be. So that's a huge thing, and this is going to continue to happen for a few more years, maybe 5 or 10 years. That's going to continue to happen. We just started a church in Hamden. We found out in December of last year that the people were interested in turning it over, gave us the building. We spent about $90,000 to remodel it. One of our graduates who was on staff had been on staff for about 10 years running the bus ministry, and he felt led to go down there and take that church, and it's been absolutely amazing. Brand new, I mean, it's not brand new, but totally renovated parsonage and church building, and it looks like new, and and it's in such a needy area. So we're thrilled to have that church and to have some influence in it. So I want to go down a list of some churches just to mention them if perhaps you might want to check into it and be interested. The pastor of Northeast Baptist Church in Millerton, New York. It's close to the Connecticut line, the northwest part of Connecticut, but it is in Millerton, New York. This is one of the oldest churches in New York, has a history of over 200 years. And they're on the verge of closing. They've got a building, a parsonage. I mean, it's just an ideal situation for a young man to go and to get that going. That's in Millerton, New York. Then there's Resurrection Bible Church in Hyde Park, New York. And I don't know much about it, but they're in need of a pastor. Dover First Baptist Church. This is in Wingdale, New York, and I've been there. I've preached. They have a building. It's an old building, then they added on to it. They have sort of a recreation fellowship hall, and they have a pretty substantial parsonage on the property. And the thing that I like about this area is you're the only game in a long distance. There's no fundamental church very close to that church, and depending on what direction you go, but you could go 100 miles in one direction and not find another fundamental church. And just a great opportunity. And again, an older church has quite a history to it, and the people are very eager to get someone to come. And they could support somebody full-time there, too. And then there's North Madison Baptist Church. It's in Chittenango, New York, upstate, more central upstate New York. There's an interim pastor there now as a former missionary. He's trying to find someone and be able to go on and help another church. But that's North Madison Baptist Church, Chittenango, New York. And then in Cooperstown, you've probably heard of Cooperstown, New York, Baseball Hall of Fame. The church is Faith Baptist Church, and I know that area very well. Great opportunity there, and very little gospel going through that area. And then Fellowship Baptist Church, Unadilla, New York, Unadilla, New York. And I don't know much about that church, but again, they need a pastor. And then there's Friendship Baptist Church, Rome, New York. And I'm very familiar with the church there. A few years ago, the pastor was young, but actually died. They did eventually get someone, That did not work out, and they're looking again. They have a very amazing facility. It's in a populated area, a great opportunity for the right guy to go there. Flatbrook Baptist Church in Canaan, New York. And I know Canaan, it is more a rural area, but again, a great need. Very few churches in that area. And then Union Baptist Church, actually in Brooklyn, New York, in the city, and they are looking for a pastor. And then Liberty, New York, Liberty Baptist Church. And then in Parishville, New York, again, more of a rural area, First Baptist Church in Parishville, New York. And then Friendship Bible Baptist Church in Friendship, New York. Don't know a lot about that church, but again, it's another one looking for a pastor. Greater Glens Falls Bible Baptist Church in Hudson Falls, New York. And Brother Guy Goodell was there for a long time. I know he was in the ministry over 60 years. He passed away. I think some of his family is still there. But plenty of people, great need. It's in sort of in the Albany, above Albany, New York area. Friendship Bible, Greater Glens Falls Bible Baptist Church. And then Heritage Baptist Church in Groton, New York. Again, I don't know much about that particular church, but a great need in that area as well. And then Truthville Baptist Church. It's in North Granville, New York. Again, upstate New York. Truthville Baptist Church. Again, looking for a pastor. Now, I'm not a prophet, but I fear some of these churches possibly could close. And most of them have their own building, and some of them have a parsonage, and some of them have a salary where a guy would be full-time. And all these are great areas to evangelize, to build a church where you're not stepping on somebody else's toes all the time. So those are the churches that I'm aware of, and I'm sure there's some I'm not aware of, and this is pretty much eastern New York, down toward New York City, but most of them are upstate. And if there's something that you find interesting, you can't find the information on that church, if you'll contact me, I'll be happy to get you connected to the right person. Now, on top of that, I get calls almost weekly, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. Pennsylvania, there's so many churches there. Most of them are more rural, but often they can fully support a pastor, have often a parsonage and almost always a church building. In most cases, they're paid for, so it wouldn't take a lot to get that church self-supporting if it's not already. New England, you can go to almost every state. There's either a church vacant or there's a transition that a pastor is hoping to be able to do if he can find the right man to come in. And we can go down the list of New Jersey, Pennsylvania, both of those. There's a lot of, just a great need in so many of those areas. So if there's someone that hears this podcast, maybe you know someone to be interested, pass it on to them and get them to think about it and to pass it on to someone else. We need to get preachers up here. We need to fill these churches. My heart's passion is church planting, but we can't lose the churches we have while we're starting churches. So this is becoming a priority, an immediate need. So I hope that someone will hear this podcast, or you pass it on to someone that hears it and say, you know what, I'm going to check into this. I'm going to look for an area. And, maybe God could use you. And at the very least, we appreciate your prayers, praying. This is an important part of our country. And, as you probably know, politically, we're very blue, very liberal. But not everybody is. There are conservative people, but by and large, there's not an evangelical presence. You just don't find people in what we call traditionally Bible, Baptist, or evangelical type churches. Very, very little. So it's a great opportunity to evangelize. If you have a pioneering spirit, come on up and join us. Well, God bless you, and trust that you have good holidays, and wherever you're at, that God will use you and bless you. Thanks for listening today.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, consider sharing it with a friend. You can also follow at Dr. Townsley on Twitter or on Facebook at Jim Townsley.